Welcome to Dying Out Loud, a podcast where we say everything we need to say in the moment so that none of those heartfelt messages that we should be telling our loved ones goes without being said. On this episode of Dying Out Loud, I need to start a little differently. Today's conversation wasn't even planned. I don't have an outline or an agenda. In fact, I didn't even realize we were going to record this episode until today. What you're about to hear is something deeply personal. My husband, Anthony, has written me a letter. I haven't read it, I haven't heard it, and he's going to read it to me for the very first time right here with all of you listening. This episode is about love and vulnerability and the courage that it takes to say the things we don't always know how to put into words, especially when time feels fragile and precious. If you choose to stay with us for this moment, thank you. And if you need to listen later, that's okay too. This one is tender. This is Dying Out Loud. And this is Anthony's letter.
Okay, I can't promise that I won't cry through it or anything like that. Dear Kris, last week you read a letter that broke my heart open. Today, I want to try to put those pieces back together with words of my own. If I look back to where I was before you, the picture is pretty gray. It was the height of the pandemic, the world was shut down, and honestly, so was I. I was a 38-year-old divorcee, living back with my parents, feeling depressed and isolated. I didn't have friends I could see. I didn't have a direction. I certainly wasn't looking for love, and I definitely wasn't looking for another marriage. And then, one day, I swiped, and there you were. You were a burst of color in that blue and white, gray plaid suit that you had. I remember seeing that photo of you with the camera-ready smile and feeling a literal shift. You were a source of light and life when I thought those things were in short supply. You didn't just walk into my life, you woke me up. These past 6 years have been the shortest, fastest, most beautiful years of my existence. You have taught me so much, but mostly you have taught me the difference between needing someone and loving someone. I finally know what it is to be loved and to be loved fully back. This isn't lust. It isn't just a best friend partnership. It's the kind of true love that just happens. It's the kind of love where everything fits, where the silence is comfortable, and where home isn't a place, but a person. We have squeezed a lifetime of living into this short window. I close my eyes and I see us camping in the woods, just the two of us, our dogs. I feel the thin air in my lungs, hiking up Quandary Peak at 14,000 feet, wondering if we're going to make it, but knowing we do it together. I feel the shock of the freezing cold Colorado water when I jumped 40 feet off the cliff, and knowing you were watching and cheering me on. I see us snowed in at the Poconos, and I see us finding every loophole possible just so we can get on a cruise ship and see the world together. Every single day I get to wake up next to you is a gift that I do not take lightly. I am in awe of you, Kris. Your strength is unmatched. The passion you have for your career is inspiring. But more than that, the connection and love you have for your family is unlike anything I have ever witnessed. You should be so proud of the adults that they have become. And I promised you before, I will always be here for them. I know the road ahead is uncertain, and I know it's going to be hard, but I need you to hear this. We will be okay. Zoey, Bailey, and I, we will be okay. Because you loved us enough for a lifetime. You are my world, You are my light. You are my everything. I love calling you my husband, and I will be proud to call you my husband until the day I die. With all my heart and soul. I love you.
I love you. That was beautiful. I need surprises like this more often. This is great. I appreciate you for taking the time to write that. And what a lovely surprise. Like, it's best way I can think of to go into this weekend, actually, is just kind of listening and rereading that and playing it over and over again in my head. While I'm collecting myself, is there anything you want to add to that or say about putting all that down on paper?
It was hard, but it was also good in a way to get it down. Um, because I know I say I love you a lot, but I also wanted to give you the of reasons. I want it to, because I know you're scared in a way about me, Zoey, and Bailey, and so are we. But we will survive because of the love that you've given us. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that and that you heard that. And for other people that are possibly going in the same situation, even though the words are tough and things like that, don't be afraid to say it, because you never want to be in that place where you're like, damn, I didn't say the thing I wanted to say and now I can't say it. Or I wanted to tell them this. I didn't want our last goodbye to be a fight or something like that. So, we're really good with making sure we give each other a kiss goodnight and that we say we love each other before we go away or anything like that, because we do want to make sure that if it is our last words, that we're truly speaking how we really feel, so we don't have any regrets when it's too late.
Absolutely. It's really, I mean, the reason that we started this entire podcast, not necessarily for you and I to exchange letters, but just to, you know, the closer that I get to the end, and again, that's unknown, right? We don't know when the end will be. We have estimations of when things might take a turn for the worse, but we don't know for certain. But I also don't want to find myself 30 days out and being fully well aware of the fact that I'm going to be, under the influence of pain medication and morphine and oxy, and worry about having to have conversations about what people have meant to me. And so far we've done 23 humans have gotten to hear from my own mouth the way that I feel about them, the impact they've had on my life. And I think in sharing all of these moments publicly, we've really been able to somehow instill hope in people amidst everything that is going on in the world. And I think that's what is so important about this podcast, is that right now you flip through your social media, you flip through YouTube, and all you see is despair and outrage, and the world is just becoming a place that I never thought that I would see it go in my life. And it's just really terribly sad that we are in this place, but people need hope. People need to understand the importance and the art of human connection and how to show up for people and how to love people. And I think every single episode we've had to date has given examples of how the folks in my life have shown up for me and how I've shown up for them and the way that I will continue to do that until I can't do it anymore. And I think, if nothing else, your letter to me serves as an absolute response that this isn't something you had to do. You didn't have to write that letter and say, hey, I want to record something where I share a letter with you. We didn't have to do that. You wanted to do that. And I'd encourage anybody else who has been on the show, if you have something left to say, we've got airtime. Come back and say the things that you didn't say before. It's the theme of this show. Say the words you mean today and let that person hear them and respond.
And I wanted to make sure
Any,
of that too, especially, because me, someone that doesn't speak that often, I like to keep to myself a lot. And people, especially in those situations that are like me as well, um, you know, take your time and write down your thoughts and then, you know, read them to that person then because it helps you be able to relieve a little bit of that pressure and stress that you've been burdening on yourself. But two, it really also helps alleviate any stress that the person that you're giving the letter to as well, any stress that they had or any thoughts that they had, maybe it gives them a little bit relief and comfort too.
love that. Well, folks, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, today's episode was completely unscripted, other than Anthony's letter. And it was spur of the moment. And I think the anxiety of jumping on the spur of the moment, and then also the emotions tied to Anthony's letter, I think I'm still taking it all in. But what you just heard was real. It was love in its most honest form. If this episode resonated with you, and maybe it's your turn to respond to someone who shared an important message with you, I hope it reminds you to say all of the things that matter. Don't leave anything left unsaid. Please take the time to write the letter. Take the time to have the conversation. Take the time to tell all of the people you love how deeply they're held while you still have time. In the coming days, we'll be sharing something new from Dying Out Loud. It's the Dying Out Loud merch collection. Every piece was designed with care and intention. We've field tested, washed, worn, and lived in these items to make sure that they're comfortable, durable, and worthy of carrying Dying Out Loud forward even after I'm gone. Each piece features the Dying Out Loud logo, and some include a simple call out to the website as well. They're amazing conversation starters. On our recent vacation, we had some of the merch with us, and I cannot tell you how many people stopped to say, "You have a podcast? What's it about?" "Oh, that sounds deep. I'm going to check that out." All of the feedback has been phenomenal, and I can't wait for you all to be able to get your hands on it. More details to come on that soon. So, as we sign off today, I just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for holding space. Please give us a like, listen, share. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And if you're so inclined, we would take like, shares, and comments on any of those platforms. The more you engage, the more the message is going to stretch to other people. And I think we can all agree that this is a message for today, and people need to hear it. This has been another episode of Dying Out Loud, and I'm so glad you've been here with us. Have a great day.